Hello there. Welcome back to Tales from Tosche Station. Well, whew, um, yeah. Those two episodes got a little dark, got a little hairy. Um, Omega's back in with she's captured. So there's that. Crosshair missed by a very wide margin. Hunter got the crap kicked out of him. Wrecker got blown away, but he's alive. And Gonki is, well, he gone. Um, so yeah, things look pretty bleak here. But we do have some hope. Emery looks to be their inside person. So hey Chewy, could you do me a favor and punch it? Let's get into it, people. All right. So we open on a planet and in a market. We see a mother and her, I want to say son or daughter. I don't know if the gender was told in this episode. But anyways, we open on a planet and a baby seems to throw a vase, and the townsfolk freak out and basically say that the baby's cursed, that uh, it's not supposed to be able to do stuff like that. And another townsperson basically says, "Hey, shh, don't talk about that stuff. You're going to bring in the wrong attention," which I find very fun that they brought that in. It brings a little bit of a real world attention to it, a la like 1940s Germany, which I think was pretty cool. The SS is on its way, essentially, and the that same townsperson calls in a class one bounty, saying, "Hey, I've got something that might be of interest to you, as we got the Tantus." And Hemlock promotes Emery to be head scientist, the same position that Nalase was in, as he walks her through Project Necromancer and walks her down to the vault where they're holding children, kids. In my notes, I said younglings, but I don't quite think they're younglings. At least from what I could tell, they don't seem to be younglings per se. Like I said when I was on Tony's show earlier this week, I think uh, I think that they're probably, like Tony said, they're probably kids that they captured early on, and they've just aged up. And anyways, he walks her through and essentially te- tells her that children are more pliable to instructions, easier to mold, and that's why they've started to take children instead of trying to go after, force sensitive adults, whatever Jedi might be left, because essentially the Jedi can fight back. And even if they got younglings, I'm pretty sure the same thing would happen. Like, they would have the ability to fight back, whereas kids that aren't trained but just so happen to have a high M count can't can be trained. And essentially, he goes on to say that yes, we've got these kids, but we also need to get Omega back because she's essentially the binder between the M count and Project Necromancer. Like, she's essentially a conductor. Like, think of it like she's like she's like a blood donor essentially. Like she's got like O negative or O positive when you go to donate blood. Like that's the ideal like blood type to be if you're donating blood. That's kind of what Hemlock is getting at here. Like she's the perfect person to donate to bridge between M count, high M count, and Palpatine. Essentially, that's what I got from it. So, um, Emery befriends one of the younglings, and Hemlock, being the cold, unfeeling, mean person that he is, basically says, "Hey, don't get attached to them. They don't matter. They're not people. They're specimens. Don't talk to them." As we see Emery starting to not believe in what's going on here anymore, which I found very very interesting. Um, that's very early on in the episode itself. So um, we get more into it as the episode goes on. As we cut back to the mother and the baby, we see them playing as we hear Spurs coming down the hallway, and we see a shadow in the door. And when I first heard it, I thought it was going to be Boba Fett. I thought it was going to be Boba Fett, but then it opens up and it's Cat friggin' Bane, which doesn't really surprise me because he does have a little bit of a track record with stealing children, specifically stealing children that are force sensitive. He's done this before with Palpatine. If you're not familiar, one of the earlier seasons of Clone Wars, I think it was season two, um, where Palpatine kind of does the same thing, where he is kidnapping force sensitive children to try to essentially, I can't remember what the plot of that episode was. I think he was either trying to make spies or trying to still, trying to make himself live forever ever because that's Palpatine's goal. He's space Satan. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. The dude is literally a version of space Satan, and the man knows no bounds. He's just an evil sob, and he tests the kid's blood, tranks the kid, and of course takes him, and then throws credits at the dude that reported it. And dude just kind of like gathers up the credits, and then we cut back to cut back to Tantus as Emery meets that same kid and kind of gets to know him a little as another one, I believe his name is Jax, attempts to escape, and he gets and Scorch comes in and stuns the kid not once, not twice, but 3 times. Scorch, you are evil. Why are you going full Anakin? You never go full Anakin. Why? Bad, bad Scorch. Bad. But anyways, I digress. So kid gets stunned 3 times, and Eva, that same one from before, asks Emery if Jax will be okay. Emery reassures Eva that he will be okay. As we see again, Emery's starting to have a change of heart, an identity crisis, if you might. I know that's the name of the episode, and the identity crisis that we're seeing is definitely Emery's. And I just, I, these 2 episodes hit, they really do. And then we see her go question Nala Say and asks if the test subjects are meant to be discarded, as Nala Say tells her she was trying to protect Omega, and Emery says that she can't do anything to stop what's going on. Nala Say questions that, says, yeah, I actually do have a little bit more power than what you think. And she leaves. Um, and then Hemlock talks to her and says, "Hey, we've got a new subject coming in today, as Scorch um is going to meet Bane." As Emery interjects and insists to go with him, and Hemlock just lets her go as he gets a call from Tarkin. Tarkin calls in on his Imperial Skype call and tells essentially questions Hemlock about all the funds he's asking for. As Tarkin tells him, if this doesn't yield any kind of results, it will not look good on him in the eyes of the Empire. So I think that's what it's going to lead up to. I think. Well, actually, I'll get to my thoughts at the end of the episode. What I think is going to happen as Hemlock calls, I think CX2 thinks that I think that's the clone's designation. If it's not, someone correct me down in the comments. I'll just call him the Shadow Clone this episode just to make sure. But he calls the Shadow Clone, and the Shadow Clone is tracking Fee and says, "I've got a beat on her," and that Sid essentially routed the batch out, and he's on Fee's tail, and he basically tells him, "Hey, I'm gonna get Omega back. Don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be good." And Emery meets Cad Bane, and she's shocked at the age of the subject because it's a literal infant. Bane tells her that asking too many questions like that reveals more than she thinks. As he gets his money and goes, they go back to Tantus, and Eva asks where Jax is. No, sorry. Emery asks where Jax is, and the droid says because he tried to break out, he's going to be in containment for two rotations. As she goes to see Eva, Eva confronts her, saying that all they want to do is just go home. As the episode ends, and we see Emery give Eva the doll that Omega made when she was there the first time, which I really enjoyed. Um, this episode was more of a set piece for the next episode, which episode 11 really hits. But I do like what they did with Emery in this episode. You could really see that she's questioning what's going on. If what she's doing is indeed the right thing, and I think she's going to be either the reason the batch figures out where Tantus is, or B, when they get to Tantus, she's going to be the one that lets all the clones out and essentially starts the rebellion, the clone rebellion. But somehow, some way, she's going to play into it. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on Emery. We'll see what happens. And so now let's go to episode 11. We open on Fee going to get refueled. When I saw the location, I thought it was Polis Massa. I'm not really. I think it's just a random asteroid belt. I mean, we see like 2 or 3 of them in Star Wars. I'm not really sure which one it is. But anyways, she's going to get refueled as we see the Shadow Clone board her ship and hack into her stuff and find the location of the batch on Pabo. And V comes out, thinks she sees something, but the fueling droid strikes her as the Shadow Clone gets out of there. Tells Scorch he found the location that he's going to do recon, and Scorch tells him, "Hey, if you see the batch, if you see Omega, I've got a crew on standby. So just let me know, and we'll come blast the planet and get Omega." So we cut to the batch on Pabo as they're already prepping to leave. they can already feel things are starting to get a little hot and heavy after that last episode with Ventress, with her saying that essentially, if I can find this place, the Empire can find this place. You're not safe at all. You need to get out of here. So we see the batch getting prepped to leave. And seems like a party's going on. The mayor's daughter, I can't remember her name, uh, is hanging out with Omega as she takes her to a place in the city where they essentially leave like tokens of things when they're for their return. And she Omega leaves, takes goggles and her doll, as she kind of says this is the first place since Camino that she's known as home. And I really liked that. I really liked that. I think that Pablo really kind of let them have a life. And what happens to Pablo in this episode and the townsfolk is it's insane. But I'll get to that in just a second. And so CX2, the Shadow Clone, lands in the same spot that Ventress landed the week before. I don't know if you guys caught that, but it's the same cave, same place, same everything. As he lands, Hunter, like his enhanced senses, he essentially can like smell something's going on, like something's wrong, like he knows something's happening. As he tells Omega and Crosshair, we gotta go right now. As CX2 does recon, finds them, tells Scorch, and Scorch says, I've got a battalion on the way. Don't let them escape." And that's exactly what he does. He places charges on the Marauder and blows it to pieces. If I see another ship that we love get blown up in a Star Wars show, I am gonna lose it, Disney. That is two that we've lost. The Razor's Crest and now the Marauder. Stop killing ships, people. Not cool with it. And also, where's Gonky? Is Gonky safe? Is he alive? We need to know. But anyways, so Wrecker gets knocked out. He's alive, he's stable, but the Empire shows up and they take the town hostage. Then they bomb the port. They cut the batch off. Hunter goes to steal a LAAT, the American Front CX2, and CX2 tells him that, oh, you think what I've done right now is bad? I can always do worse. And I'm not here to terrorize you guys. I just want the girl. Where is she? And I am going to slow down here for a minute. Well, no, I'll finish out and then I'll say my thoughts at the end. And then Batcher, Omega, and Crosshair are trying to get away as Batcher attacks the troops as they're going to meet AZ to get Wrecker. As Omega and Crosshair see Hunter still AT8 a LAAT, CX2 kills the pilot with like crosshair level accuracy. As the pilot crashes the ship, Hunter comes out alive, and Omega pulls Crosshair inside, which I find this is something that I found interesting. Going back to the first couple episodes, Crosshair is telling her that Omega essentially comes up with a plan to let herself get captured so they can get back to Tantus. And Crosshair is saying there's too many unknown variables. Um, I won't be able to make the shot. I won't be able to get the tracker on. It's not a viable plan. And Omega tells him this is the only plan that we have. We have to run it. So it takes me back to the first couple episodes when Crosshair was in prison and Omega is trying to break him out. And he keeps telling her, forget about me. Just leave. It doesn't matter. And the whole time she kept saying, my mission is to get you and me out of here. I'm not leaving without you. And now it's it's it was just fun to see Omega was the one that said, hey, Crosshair, you need to focus on the mission. I'm just a smaller part. The mission is Tantus. If I get captured, so be it. You have to finish it and follow me, which I found very interesting. And Crosshair, we see finally throughout the entire season they've been building this moment. He's essentially saying, "I'm not leaving you. This is not a good idea. I'm not doing this." And she says, "Hey, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Just find Tantus. I'll be okay." And that's character growth that I wasn't expecting to see out of Omega. But anyways, let me finish this out. Um, Omega turns herself in, and this was the gut wrenching part. Crosshair is fighting off. It was like 7 or 8 stormtroopers. I'm not really sure. And I thought he was gonna like. I thought what was gonna happen was they were gonna play on the trimmer a little bit more, where he gets the shot off, but it's like just like an inch to the left. But that isn't what happened at all. He tried to no scope the shot, and it fell flat. Like it didn't even make it close. It just so yeah, that was a little gut wrenching. But overall, I think both episodes really set the tone for the end game that we're in now. I think these next few couple of weeks, these next few weeks are going to be particularly dark. It's not going to be very happy. Um, I think I'm just going to say it now. I think this clone, the Shadow Clone CX2, I think it's Cody. This is my official prediction. This is what I think it is. It's Cody with like a super soldier serum of all the Bad Batch's abilities. I think that's what who he is. It's Cody with everybody's abilities. And I think that's would just have the most emotional punch, that it's somebody that viewers have a connection to. I mean, yeah, if you bring Tech back, it's a gut punch. It's still gonna hold weight, but I think it would make more sense for it to be Cody, and that either the Bad Batch have to kill him, or Rex Wolf and Gregor have to kill him, and that's why they're in exile and don't want to join the fight again, because they had to kill one of their brothers. They had to kill one of their best friends. Like Rex had to kill one of his best friends. I mean, of the original guys of the original clones that we met in Clone Wars, it was Rex, it was Cody, it was Jesse, it was Fives. I'm missing like one or two more. Please, someone tell me in the comments who I'm missing, because I know I'm missing somebody. So for Rex to have to kill Cody, just like Obi-Wan having to fight Anakin, I think that's gonna break him. I think that's gonna break him, and having to leave him for dead. or kill him is going to set Rex on a dark path of, just like I said, being broken, and that's why he's in exile. Um, but yeah, I think overall, like I said, these two episodes really set the tone for what's to come, and I think it's gonna be it's gonna be heart wrenching these next few weeks. This next month is really gonna suck, and yeah. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I think it's not gonna be pretty. I think there's gonna be a lot of moments that are gonna tear people apart, and it's gonna suck to see to see our boys go out, but they're gonna go out in a blaze of glory. So well, guys, till next time, may the force be with you.